Ellie, and I'm the coordinator for this project, for the Living Memorials project. And if you could just introduce yourself and what you do here in the mansions.
Okay. I'm Johnny, and I've been out with Michelle and Tracy years and years. I don't even remember. But it's been a long time since we've been together. And this morning, it's really a pleasure to be with you guys.
Yeah. And so Living Memorials Project is about just the sentiments and the importance of remembering people who we love and how these memorials keep their presence alive. And so you have your memorial was one of the first memorials, correct, for your wife. And if you can just speak on about your wife and kind of what it means to you to have the Carol's Alley there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. It's been like a year since she passed away, and since that day, and it is really hard, to work without her. But it is a God project because it is a life. And last year, a group of friends put some trees in memory of Carol. And I'm today, and I got a sign named Carol Alley, and today it is official.
Yeah.
It is now official. Started today, it will be the Carol Alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you for taking your time and to talk to us today, and for remembering and honoring people.
Thank you.
And honoring us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And she's in my life.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So, hi, my name is Ellie, and I'm the coordinator for the Living Memorial Project this year. And if you don't mind introducing yourself.
My name is Nathan McBean. I also happen to be married to Michelle McBean, who's with this organization and has been for a long time. And I live here in Elizabeth.
So if you could just give us your overall thoughts on the Living Memorial Project and tell us about your mother's rose bushes, which are actually right outside of this building.
Well, I think that the Historical Society has, for a number of years, has been looking for ways to either honor people or extend the memory of people or preserve the history of Elizabeth, of the city of Elizabeth and New Jersey. And there's no one way that it seems that the Historical Society has found to do that. So one of the ways now is to try and use living memorials, and that usually means plants. And when you use plants, you get long life. You can have visits by family and friends that extend beyond just the lifetime of the person who might have been the planter, but also their children and their children, depending on what kind of plants you put down. So I think it's a good idea. What had happened, of course, is that when the project was just getting off the ground, not too long after my mother had died, and it was a thought to preserve her memory using rose bushes. So I don't think that it's one thing for everyone. My feeling is that if you're your loved one happen to like roses, that's fine. If they like peaches, then maybe you plant a peach tree or a plum tree or figs. I think we have the plantings of fig tree.
Yeah, the Italian fig tree.
And we received those from the fire director, who just recently passed away. So we have his family or people who knew him can feel that there's a part of him that's still here, that he helped to preserve, he helped to set up for himself and for others and for those who loved him. Other than that, I think it helps to beautify the property. It gives meaning to every piece of ground that's on the property. It helps to make working around these bushes and plants and trees meaningful for those who do that. And it helps, I think, sometimes with people who just come and go every day, who might be, under regular circumstances, they may just come past and not pay attention, but knowing that these memorials are there, they sort of feel that they are going to work or going to participate in programs or things that are important and that have some life to them.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, thank you so much for participating in the project. I really appreciate your input. And that's all that I need to know for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
So my name is Sheila Mitchell. I'm an intern here at the Historical Society, and we are doing a memorial, living memorial. So we just want to interview you and some questions or answer some questions that we have for you.
Sure.
So can you introduce yourself?
I'm Anastasia Mantilla. I'm the Vice President of the Historical Society of Elizabeth.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to remember the past? Why do you think it's important to remember the past?
Because the past always is part of the future. Whatever happens in the past always again happens in the future, is repeated in the future. And it is good for us to understand what did happen in the past and how it impacts on the now and on what's happening now. Because there always is a repeat of incidents and things that happened in the past. So it's always important to do that. And also to understand what other people went through to achieve certain things for this country. And how difficult it might have been, but they still persevered and they still got through it. And that is why I think it's important.
What do you think about this project, of the Living Memorial Project? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm very pleased about the Living Memorial because, again, that's part of the past. And people who lived here, people who worked here, people who came here from other countries are now a part of history. They're forever in our minds and in our hearts. And what they did and what part they played in making Elizabeth what it is today.
Can you tell us a little bit about Seals Rock and your
Well, we decided to do that because at one point the sidewalk needed improvement. We needed to do some work on the sidewalk, and we needed slabs of granite, really slate pieces. And I remembered that my father, who was in construction, had left some pieces against our garage at home. So I looked back there, and sure enough, we had some slate pieces, and we arranged through many people's efforts to get them here, and we put them there on that side. And then it was decided by all of us that maybe we should have a memorial garden and not only to beautify Bonnell House, but also to memorialize the people that have contributed either by their working on the committees, being part of the Historical Society, or just being part of the community, or having a meeting to the people that are working with the Historical Society. So that's the way that came about, and we decided to plant flowers, and we planted flowers on that side, and then that grew, that other people wanted to memorialize maybe members of their family who had passed away, and as a result, we got more and more contributions for the flowers, and everybody has a flower bush in the memory. I put one in for my sister, my brother, and my sister-in-law, and the other ones for my father and mother. So that's the way that evolved.
We can see that it's very special for you.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you too for being here, and Elise also, thank you.
Ready? Okay, so my name is Ellie, and I'm the coordinator for the Living Memorial Project this year. And if you can introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Tracy Kern.
And about your role here in the Historical Society and Future City.
Well, historical, I'm in charge of buildings and grounds here in Belcher. So I make sure that the roses are taken care of, the hydrangeas are watered, and that there's no surprises that come up. Work with people, the workmen, and listen to what directives I get from the board of historical.
Okay, yeah. And if you can share your thoughts on living memorials and their presence here on the property.
Well, the Living Memorial Project, I think, is just a continuation of improvement of this corner, because I've been here since the beginning, because when these properties were acquired in 2003 and 2005, they were pretty miserable. It was barren, it was empty, it was neglected. A lot of love, time, and effort put into working on restoring these buildings, and they're still being restored. Adding some greenery and some color and some depth to the outside also created new life to the corners. I mean, people notice the roses, they notice the flowers, and notice people out there cleaning up and taking care of it. And it adds to the neighborhood, it adds to positive actions going on around here, and positive reactions of the neighbors.
And you yourself have a hydrangea bush for your grandmother. Would you like to tell us about the bush and your grandmother?
My grandmother's name was LaRose Gilbert. She lived to be 97 years of age. She had 3 daughters, was an educator for over 40 years in Greene County, Virginia, which is in the southernmost part of the state. She lived in Greene County, Virginia for about most of her life. She was very tough. She was very caring for all of her grandchildren, of which she has 4, including myself. She also has about 6 great-grandchildren and many relatives and friends who remembered her for being, telling them this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. But she was very beloved, and I had to think of a way to honor her, and with the memory garden, I figured, buy a hydrangea, put it in, does doing very well. So I still remember her a lot. I mean, I didn't get to see a lot of her because I lived in New Jersey. She did occasionally come to visit, and I got occasion to go to see her. I happened to see her about 8 months before she passed away. She, at that point, moved in with my aunt and uncle. She couldn't live by herself anymore at her home, but she did for 90 plus years. And I did get to see her a few minutes, and I figured it was a good thing. So that's how I remember her. I always remember her. And I remember the house. And she big old 3-story thing. Her brother and sister-in-law lived next door. Her brother was an entrepreneur and a businessman in the town of Emporia, which is where she lived. And she was a tough woman, but I loved her.
That's very meaningful. And you also have a push for Mia.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. For those who don't know, Mia was a brown and black house cat that came to Elizabeth in '97. She had actually belonged to Michael McBean, Michelle's son, and lived in Brooklyn. But in '97 he moved here back to Elizabeth with his parents, and they don't allow pets in the McBean's apartment building, Chilton Towers. So Mia ended up at Palm House, where in the course of 10 years she decided she was in charge of everything. Walked in on meetings, sat on top of tables, sat in chairs, tried to take over the territory.
Yeah.
But she was adopted by everybody who worked in that office. I think there were 1 or 2 people who had problems with her. But she stood her ground and lived a very long life. Didn't realize that she was, when she was about 17 or 18 years old. And, so in cat years, we're talking seniors.
Yeah.
Sadly, she didn't have the energy anymore. She was listless. She was taken veterinarians and diagnosed with a tumor, and she was her kidneys were failing anyway. So that last year we were informed, she's going to go. There's going to be signs, but if that signs come up, make sure you not let her suffer. So in October 17, first week of October 17, we went to the vets. They put her to sleep. Several weeks later, we got back her cremated remains. We figured, well, what can we do for her? So the following spring, with help from the New Jersey Tree Foundation, they put in the bushes and put in one little bush located right outside the window for the Historical Society. When she was around, she would climb up and look out the windows. And that was one of the windows she looked out from. So it was a good spot. We put her in. It was a very trying ceremony because, it's a cat's been around for so long. Even Michelle still was tearing up, and she still misses her. It's just, because anybody who worked there realized you have to close this door, you have to close that door, you can have that open, you have to chase out the kitchen. But it's been a long time now. It's just adjusting to not having her there.
Yeah.
But she is there. She's there, in a sense, as is all the other people whose memories are honored in the memory walk and the garden. And we're fortunate that 2 of the people who are honored are still here. And they can come over and look at the rose bushes, and they can still offer advice and counsel.
Well, thank you for sharing your stories with us today. We really appreciate it.
Sure, my pleasure.
My name is Sheila Mitchell. I'm a Governor Hispanic Fellow of 2018, but I'm intern at the Historical Society of Elizabeth, New Jersey. And can you introduce yourself?
Okay, Mr. Norman Harris. This is my wife, Lorraine Harris. We're old residents of Elizabeth. I'm the Block Arts president, and I've been working with Mr. and Mrs. McBean in Jersey for years.
Okay, so I'm here for interview for the Living Memorial Project, and I will like to ask you some questions
Sure.
about your rose bushes that you have here at the mansion. So if you can tell us about that history of there.
Okay, sure. Okay. Any questions you have?
What motivates you to come and see your bushes?
Well, like I said, born and raised in Elizabeth, and I always had a feeling I wanted Elizabeth to improve. I want to be proud of it, and I am. And which is just something that is really mentioned to me. I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing it. We both enjoy seeing it. And being the old Elizabeth residents, we want to see the progress in Elizabeth. You only hear about the bad parts. There's a lot of good people in Elizabeth here. Yes.
Okay. So it holds a special place on your heart.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's, like I said, born and raised here. Went all around the world, 9 years in the military, still come back to Elizabeth.
Do you have any comments on it?
Really?
Well, I'm glad that they put the rose bush out representing us because I like roses and they're pretty and they're well kept outside.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's it?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Anytime. Now, you guys look, Tracy was really got our phone number. And anytime you want us to come, because I'm very proud of what you all are doing. And I hope that more young people will have that feeling and get the education, the college education and all. But like I said, if we can do anything, just contact us.
Thank you.
We'll be available. I'm retired now, so I'm available 24. Except for the doctors.
Okay.
When are you gonna put together the video and
Maybe by the end of
Next week, my next week.
yeah.
oh really?
Okay.
So we were gonna be able to send it to you, or if you wanna come and take a look at it.
Okay, yeah, let
It's
us
gonna be a
know.
presentation.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tracy contacted us, and we want to see, naturally, we're interested in it. And you guys are really, I'm proud of you. You guys are really doing good. I just wish you could bring more young people in with you, because you're all college kids, but like I said, what you're doing is excellent, and it's really good. And like anything in Elizabeth, like I said, I'm for it.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, okay?
Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Sebastián Prado y estamos haciendo las entrevistas del proyecto del Living Memorial. Estoy aquí con Luis Muñoz. Buenos días, Luis.
Buenos días, Sebastián.
¿Se quiere presentar?
Mi nombre es Luis Muñoz y he trabajado por largo tiempo con Michelle en la limpieza de las 2 casas amarillas y he estado muy contenta con ella, con los niños que trabajan con ella también, como Sebastián, como Karina, todos los muchachos, he estado muy feliz con ellos también.
Entonces estamos haciendo una entrevista de las plantas aquí en las casas. Entonces, ¿sabe qué tipo de planta tiene usted aquí en la casa?
Sí, Michelle sembró una planta en honor a mi madre, Ana Celina Méndez, y otra planta en memoria de mi hermana Bernie, que también ya falleció.
¿Cómo comenzó este proyecto? ¿Se acuerda de cómo Michelle le dijo a usted que si quería plantar una planta?
Sí, ella me dijo que la ayudara a Tracy a sembrar unas plantas en la parte de atrás. Y después, con el fallecimiento de mami, ella me dijo que iba a sembrar unas matas en nombre de mi madre también. Y así fue que empezamos. Ya con la muerte de Bernie también sembramos una mata en honor de mi hermana.
Y pues sé que está a cargo de cuidar las casas. ¿Ha visto algún cambio durante estos años en las plantas o en la casa en general?
En las plantas que han crecido, se han esponjado, otras se han muerto, otras están medio viejitas, las hemos arrancado para que quede la planta bonitas. Y cuando yo trabajaba, echarle agua todos los días sin faltar, mucha agua porque ellas toman mucha agua. Y entonces pues había que echarle agua a todas las matas. Las de acá al frente y las de al lado allá también. Y luego venir para acá y echar a todas estas con un baldecito.
Gracias por la entrevista y espero que las plantas sigan creciendo.
Ok, mijo, muchas gracias y Dios los bendiga.
My name is Shayla Mitchell. I'm a Governor Hispanic Fellow 2018 and I'm intern at the Historical Society.
My name is Ellie, and I'm also Governor's Hispanic Fellow, and I'm interning for Future City, and I'm the coordinator of the Living Memorials Project for this year.
So, well, it's nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the questions? What is the project about?
So the project is about today would be of Silva's Memorial and Ogden Mansion.
Who is very friendly, very caring. You could really see all the heart that he put into the renovations that he did. He truly cared for the property.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see what else. Overall, just a very nice person to have around and be part of Future City. I do remember that he worked there for a couple of years, for a few years actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any way that he impacted your life, Silva?
I would say the passion that he had for the stuff that he did.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us about him, and we will send you our Living Memorial project if you would like. We can send it to you via email at the end.
That